Because even the marketing I've seen is like, don't spoil this for other people, is basically how they're marketing it now, 5 days out or whatever.
That I did see a TV spot for, and that I thought was actually really cool. And that kind of went off like something, didn't like Rian Johnson say something like that a couple of months ago?
I think they've all been saying it. I know Mark Hamill's been very adamant that people do not spoil this for other people.
Yeah.
Well, I seen one like that, and I wanted to slap, like, whoever the hell put it on IGN. It was like a little thing. It was like, don't spoil this for other people. And then right after, I'm not even going to say what happens at the end of the clip. But it's a huge fucking spoiler at the end of the clip. And I'm like, what, dude?
Yeah, I've learned I can't even, like, scroll through Instagram because even the official Star Wars account, like, if you're just scrolling through Instagram, will show, like, a 5 or 10 second video of stuff, and the video just starts playing as I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, no, I don't want to see that either.
Yep.
So, yeah, I've been tiptoeing around the internet the last couple of days. It's been difficult. So, I'm anxious to, like, dive into reviews and stuff after I see it, but I can't do it now.
No, gotta see it first.
PSA for everyone out there. Go see these movies yourself before you read anything. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bragana Super Friends. I'm your host, Brian Labick. Joining me for this episode is Josh Zorich.
Alright.
And Mike Bradley.
I'm wrapping my head around Josh with the Matthew McConaughey thing still.
You never knew it. Now that you see it, though, you're like, I didn't know how badly I wanted that.
I know.
And after a bit of a break, we got Mike Romano back.
Yeah, I just gotta say after the Matthew McConaughey thing, the Free State of Jones was fucking terrible.
Oh,
that was on one of your
made my
lists.
top 10 list last year.
I remember that. Because I think when you named it, we're all like, what the fuck movie is that?
I was all excited. Super excited for a Civil War movie because I'm a Civil War dork if there ever was one, and it was bad. It was like mind-numbing. It was terrible. I get the premise, but man, was it fucking mind-numbing. 2.5 hours of just, what did I watch?
Yeah, we'll have to, whenever we do our favorites of 2017,
That
we'll be revisiting the most anticipated of 2017.
Yeah, so that's like the one or two slots we leave open for disappointments or did not live up to hopes.
Yeah. I'm
now
glad
we know
you
where
said
that one falls
that
for
was
Mike.
like perfect. I'm glad you came in with the all right.
All right, so we've been teasing it for a few episodes now. This is something I wanted to get in the bag before Last Jedi came out. So we're going to cover each of our top 10 most anticipated movies of the next year for 2018. This is usually one of my favorite ones to do, like episode-wise of the year. Just going over all of our lists. Usually the ones we do with lists, I feel like. Maybe I'm just like, I like to be organized, so anytime we do something with lists, I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So if you haven't listened to any of these past ones we've done, either the top 10 favorites or most anticipated, I'll sort of run down our format. Each of us have made a list of 10 movies we're looking forward to next year. We have not compared these lists beforehand, so these are going to be surprises for everybody. I'm sure some of these movies will cross over. They usually do. We're all sort of comic book nerds and that kind of thing, so we do have a little soft spot for all the superhero movies and stuff like that.
What could be our number one pick?
Yeah, really. We'll see if that differs from anybody, because I feel like there's a good chance it'll be the top for everybody. So yeah, what we usually do is we start with someone's 10. We do everybody's 10 first, then we go to everyone's 9 and 8 and so far up the list. When we get to the end, after we've hit everybody's number 1, we'll go around one more time, hit a couple honorable mentions that were close to making the list but didn't, and go from there. And we'll just sort of see where the discussion takes us. We did pick an order for everyone before we started to record. So we're going to go Josh, Mike Bradley, Mike Romano, and I'll bring up the rear with the fourth one.
That's what she said.
That's right. So, starting with our number 10s, Josh is going to go first. Josh, what is your number 10 for 2018?
Okay. let's say I had a little bit more diverse of a list that I ended up with than I originally thought I would. But
I feel like that's normal for you.
I mean, to some degree, but I was really going into this more than, for myself, like, more than past years, other than the movies that, like, oh, I know I'm going to enjoy that. It's going to be fun. I legitimately try to think, what am I looking forward to? And I think what I'm looking forward to the most is I'm looking to be surprised. I'm looking for things that either are completely original, out of left field, I haven't seen before, or are just different sharp takes on things I might be familiar with. So I am starting, actually, with what I think could be a really, really cool reboot. I'm going with Shane Black's version of The Predator.
Okay. Is that just called Predator, or is
Yeah.
it Predators, or I can't remember the title of that movie?
Yeah, the 2010 one was Predators.
Yeah.
Okay.
With Adrian Brody.
Right.
This
okay.
is The Predator. As far as I understand, it like whereas that one was the 2010 one, which I actually thought was really cool. I think it's really underrated. It was definitely kind of a continuation while trying to be sort of a reboot. Didn't go anywhere after that, but I thought it was pretty solid. This one is supposed to be just a flat out like remake reboot. But Shane Black in charge, writing and directing. I don't know how this can go wrong in any way. The cast,
Is Robert Downey Jr. in it?
is well, unless he's going to have like an awesome
He is the
like
Predator.
cameo in some way. Oh, that would be great, right? Yeah. Well, hey, they got the mask idea already. They can just do that, inside the mask.
Yeah, that's right.
Effect again.
The heads-up display for the Predator. Yeah.
Yeah. But the people that they got together for this, Olivia Munn, Thomas Jane, Boyd Holbrook, who I thought was one of the standout, absolute stellar elements of Logan, Sterling K. Brown, Jake Busey, Keegan Michael Kay. I think that is an oddball, but it's like sometimes those people who you think like, oh, they're known for comedy, they have a way of surprising you. Like when Jordan Peele made Get Out. You don't see that coming, and they can really surprise you. So that is supposed to be, I believe, the first Friday of August, and I am looking forward to an awesome monster action movie.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that, but the cast does sound good.
Yeah, it does.
And Shane Black's usually pretty good. He wrote that one too, right?
Credited with others on the screenplay, but co-writer, yes.
Okay. Did that make anybody else's list? Or I guess we'll find out. I guess anybody got anything else for Predator, we'll go to Bradley's number 10.
The only thing I have for it is I do need to hear Thomas Jane give his best impression of "Get to the Chopper." It needs to happen, even if it's just
Or-
a passing joke.
Maybe Olivia Munn does it. You don't know.
Anybody. I don't give a damn who does it.
Yeah.
He was just the first name that came to mind. Anybody in the movie
There you
needs to give that joke. I don't care if it's a reboot. It has to happen.
You
Yeah.
think they'll give Arnold a cameo?
I hope they do.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it would
he-
be nice.
Maybe Arnold comes over like a walkie-talkie, like he's somewhere else and he's in contact with them. He's not actually like physically in it, but maybe he gets to deliver that line like, "Hurry, you've got to get to the chopper!" Something like that.
That would be great. I would accept
It would be the best if you give that to him again. Just
Yeah.
let him do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Bradley is up with number 10.
My number 10 comes from a book I read nearly 20 years ago. It's written by a guy named Steve Alton. The book was called Meg, a novel of deep horror. The movie is just going to be called The Meg. This makes the list for one reason and one reason only. For probably 15 years, I've been looking forward to them making this into a movie. That being said, it comes in at number 10. It looks like they're going to make a horrible movie out of this.
Aw.
And here's the thing. The book itself, sure, it's about a monster shark in part, but it's more about claustrophobia and rebirth than it is about the shark. The shark is there, but the whole novel itself is built more on the suspense of being trapped in a small metal submarine at the bottom of the ocean than it is about the shark itself. So what they did
Go ahead.
is they took that idea and they turned it somehow into a Jason Statham movie.
Wait, he's in this movie?
Yes, he is the lead role. Jason
I
Statham
want to see it now just because of that.
is set to play Jonas Taylor in this movie, who is going to be a deep-sea submersible pilot, retired from the Navy. Supposed to be a very smart man and all that. An intellectual, a professor. And we got Jason Statham for that. The other problem I have
believe
is if you look on the IMDb, there's at least 3 top billed characters that are named on IMDb. They have a name in the cast. They're 100% there. Never appeared in any of the books. There's 5 of these. They couldn't even name the characters based off of somebody that was in one of the books. Even if it doesn't relate to that character, they couldn't use names from the books. So you have Ruby Rose as a character that... I don't know. You see the point I'm at here. We have Jason Statham and Ruby Rose to top bill a movie that is supposed to be about, claustrophobia, suspense, and all that. It's just going to be a monster shark movie.
Jason Statham is going to jump kick the crap out of that shark.
That's what I'm afraid
In the
of.
water.
I'm thinking this is going to be more Sharknado than Jaws, and that's a problem.
Well, even just the title of the movie, it just made me think of Meg from Family Guy.
Yeah,
You say
it really
the
did.
Meg, and that's the first thing that comes to my head.
Shut up, Meg.
Like, I also see that, like, Rainn Wilson is in it, and Cliff Curtis, and Bing Bing Lee. But if you're
Wait,
saying
who's that last one?
Bing Bing Lee, she's been in stuff. She's obviously an Asian American actress. Well, actually,
No, really?
Chinese actress. She was. Oh, you should know her. She was in your freaking Transformer movie.
That doesn't mean I remember it.
She was.
She was in Age of Extinction. She was a character
Oh, that's the worst one.
called Su Yuming.
Yeah, that means nothing to me.
I blocked that movie out. Sorry.
Fair enough.
That's the one with the dinosaurs, right? That's with the Dinobots, right?
That was the
Yeah.
first one with the dinosaurs. Yeah.
So that's just how much I can't remember about that.
For the 10 minutes they were on screen.
Yeah.
I guess I've watched some of those like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon type movies that came later, and I really enjoyed those, so I know her from those ones.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
Yeah, it's a movie that just looks like a really good book turned into a debacle. Think Congo.
Okay.
Just not going to be what it's supposed to be.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know nothing about that at all. So,
I recommend reading the book. It's a fantastic book to read. Do
You
not
said
let the
there's-
movie steer you off of the book.
You said there's 5 books?
Yeah, the first one is a very good book. The second one's still fairly good. After that, they turn more into their own kind of shtick with the monster shark being the attraction more than the suspense and
Okay.
the actual horror elements of it. Still cool to read about, but more... He gets less scientific and more... I don't know.
Awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, he goes for the more awesome stuff in 3, 4, and 5. I mean, but he's writes a lot like Michael Crichton. He's very scientific.
Does 3, 4, and 5 turn into a Jason Statham movie?
4, definitely. The fourth book. Oh,
So maybe
yeah,
they're just
absolutely.
planning
The
ahead.
fourth book is the fourth book is made to star Jason Statham and Megan Fox. I'm pretty sure that he describes
Maybe that's the Meg.
the lead
Megan
Fox.
actress is like pretty much a Megan Fox description as to what they would have her look like, and it's like, why are you doing this? But yeah,
It's like Michael Bay all over again.
yeah.
Maybe
I
he'll
mean,
direct
it
it.
is-
Maybe he'll direct one.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing is this is being directed by John Turteltaub.
Right.
So
Oh.
John Turteltaub's National Treasure.
Yeah.
If you recognize
I
those,
was
so
gonna say-
it should be a fun movie.
He needs to get off these shark submarine movies and making me a third National Treasure
Damn
movie.
straight.
Yeah.
I
I'd take
agree
that
with
over
that.
this.
And I'll tell you how upset you should be, Josh. The original director billed for this movie was Eli Roth,
Oh.
and it was
okay,
going
see,
to
that's
be perfect.
interesting. That is
And
interesting to
then
me.
they were making him turn it into a PG-13 movie, and he refused, and he
see,
got off
even-
the project.
Even if you give me Jason Statham in a submarine with a giant shark, but you give me Eli Roth in charge, I'm interested.
See?
Yeah.
This is what I mean. I don't know where they went wrong with this movie, but it tanked.
Oh.
But still on my list, I'm still going to the theater to see this. I've been waiting 20 years to see it, so had to make the list.
We'll check back with you next year and see how this turned out. All right, so we'll go on to Romano's number 10.
I'm probably gonna get booed by some people on this one.
Boo.
Jurassic World.
Oh, you're not getting booed. I'm looking forward to that. That's on my
yeah,
list.
but it's because it's so low on my list.
Oh.
That's why I'm gonna get booed.
Spoiler alert, it did not make my list.
What?
It did not make my list either.
Okay, so I don't feel so bad then.
There's a lot of good
I'm actually
stuff
surprised
this
by
year,
that
man.
from Brian, because Brian, wasn't Jurassic World pretty high on your 2015 list?
I don't have my 2015
Once it
list
came
readily
out?
available. I feel like I put it on my list, and I don't remember where it finished when we went through the favorites, but I do actually really like Jurassic World. And I had higher expectations, I think, for this movie, and the trailer kind of turned me off from it. Had I not seen the trailer, it probably would have made my list.
Yeah, that's what it did for me, because I like Jurassic World so much that then I watched that trailer, I'm like, what the fuck is this crap? I feel like this is just an exciting Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
See, I've been pulling the same thing with the Star Wars and Infinity War stuff. I'm refusing to watch the trailer. I want to go into that completely cold. I don't want to see any peek of the new dinosaur, whatever the fuck it is, coming into this movie.
Oh, so you didn't watch the trailer for Fallen Kingdom?
No. The only one I seen was him messing around with the little raptor. That's all I seen. It's like the 10 seconds of him screwing with the little raptor.
Okay.
Yeah, stop there, because if you see, if you have no idea what we're talking about and why we feel this way, then if you even see an inkling of it, you're really going to be disenchanted, so stay away from it all.
Okay.
Alright, so, I'm just gonna say that's why. Okay, so.
Now, to be fair, like I've felt a little bit better after the trailer dropped and seeing a couple people talk about, like even the director, I think, was talking about it on Twitter, where the footage shown in the trailer should be from the first half of the film, first 50 minutes or something. So I was worried that trailer was showing way too much of the film. So if there was something else there that they're not showing, they're keeping under wraps, that means there might be some twists there in the story, which I can get behind. So I'm hoping it redeems itself when I finally get around to see it, because I am going to see it. It's not in my top 10.
Yeah, and Mike, I mean, I definitely hope it, surprises us all, but I can understand why you would, kind of hedge your bet and put it at 10.
Yeah, I mean, it almost made the honorable mention list. I mean, like I said, these back few they're all interchangeable. So,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say the trailer kind of just disappointed me. So I'm not really looking forward. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not looking forward to it as much as I thought I would be looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I agree. That's sort of where I'm at too.
Hmm.
Anything else for Fallen Kingdom? No. All right. My number 10 is one. My 10 and 9. I was telling these guys before we started recording. I had for the most part, set list of 10, and then I started poking around at other trailers and stuff today, and two movies that I weren't on my list at all, I watched trailers for, and now they've got me excited enough, and it could just be because they're fresh in my mind that I think they look cool, that I'm going to put them at 9 and 10. So the first one I have is Annihilation with Natalie Portman, from the director of Ex Machina.
Yep.
So that one, I mean, I guess it's based on a book, and I don't know what book it's from. But cast-wise, we have Tessa Thompson, Natalie Portman, Oscar Isaac, Gina Rodriguez, Jennifer Jason Leigh, a couple other Benedict Wong.
Benedict
is
Wong,
in there. Yeah.
Someone named Cosmo Jarvis.
That's a great fucking name.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna just see it just because of that name. He could have a 5-second part.
Put that guy on a poster.
So yeah, if anybody hasn't seen the trailer for Annihilation, I'd recommend watching it, and just to get a sense of what this movie is. I guess Natalie Portman's husband or boyfriend or something goes into some weird, crazy area that's like covered. I forget what they call it. Like the shit. I just watched the trailer and I can't remember what the fuck.
I just did too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all like shiny and colorful.
It looks like if there's like water or like gasoline or oil or something on black top.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
And it's kind of and it's wet, and you see that sheen of like the oil on top of the surface. That's like the quality of how the boundary of this place looks.
So I guess a team of females, like 5 or 6 females, go in there, and they're like scientists and biologists and stuff, trying to figure out what the hell this place is and what it did. It apparently tries to drive people crazy, and there's something in there that seems like it's hunting them and picking them off, so that adds that thriller element to it. And I don't know, it seems like something I haven't seen in a while as far as movies are concerned, and the trailer piqued my interest, I guess.
Kind of sounds like Predator to me.
Actually, yeah, that might be a fair comparison.
Yeah, it really, same thing. I got the impression it feels like there's elements of like A Wrinkle in Time. There's elements of Predator. There's, what was I just thinking of too? It looks, it kind of reminds me of Arrival.
I could get that, yeah.
A little bit of ways. Just like unknown entity, like all a bunch of these movies they're making lately where they're like it's definitely science fiction, bordering on fantasy, but they're melding it into real world like integration so well that it doesn't seem like fantasy. It's like literally like, hey, guess what? All this supernatural, fantastical crap just landed in our world. Deal with it.
Yeah. And it seems like it's one of those stories that could have a lot of twists and turns and make you think.
Yeah.
And as much as I loved Arrival from last year too, that the comparisons with Arrival and just like a psychological thriller type thing, that sort of hooked me too. So yeah, anything to add for that one, or we'll loop back around to Josh?
Well, I would just add. Well, I can continue actually because my number 9 is Annihilation.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah, like the fact that the guy who was in charge of Ex Machina, like this is kind of his next project, Alex Garland. We should probably give him his name.
Yeah, I couldn't think. I have the IMDb up too, and I didn't even look at his name.
Yeah, I think that is. I think he's going to be somebody to watch. I mean, I see that he was the writing credit on Dread, the Carl Urban
Okay.
version. So he's on the screenplay for that. So I like what he's coming up with. I mean, if you go back through his writing credits, they're actually really cool. Like movies that you probably forgot about, like 28 Days Later, Sunshine, that Danny Boyle did. Is it Dread, and then since Ex Machina, got so much praise, I think he's definitely going to be out there for a while. But I think he's going to be someone to watch. He's got some good ideas.
Yeah, I agree. Sounds good. All right, so we won't dwell on that since we sort of, between the two of us, I think we covered that pretty well. So let's loop around to Bradley's number 9.
My number 9 is A Quiet Place. This is John Krasinski and Emily Blunt in what looks to be a very interesting horror thriller. I don't know if any of you have seen the trailers for it yet. Essentially, it seems as though they're being hunted by some sort of creatures that we don't get to find out about. But essentially, they have to live their entire lives without making a sound. And it becomes interesting. I highly recommend checking out the trailer. There's not a lot to go on as of this point. John Krasinski is directing it.
Cool.
Oh,
So
okay.
it does have that going for it. He managed, a fairly unheard of movie to get Emily Blunt along for the ride as well. It's not
Probably not hard to get his wife to come along.
Yeah. But it's something that looks like it's going to be very, very interesting. And I don't want to say unique. I'm sure things have been done similar, but I'm interested to see where it goes. And it has me hooked already. I just off of seeing a single trailer, looking up a little bit about it. Yeah, it's fairly well got its hooks in me. Which for a good-looking horror thriller movie isn't hard to do to me.
Okay, yeah.
So that's about the extent I could say about it at this point. There's not that much that I know about it.
Yeah, I think I'm more interested not that I'm a horror guy that I'd go watch or anything, but just the fact that Krasinski's directing, I think that'd be an interesting way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's involved in a lot right now. I'm interested, like, all these years later, now that, like, Office has been over for several years. Like, that teaser that Amazon, is it Amazon? Amazon, I think, right? That put out
Doing the
is
Jack
doing
Ryan?
the Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
The teaser for that, I was like, oh, okay, he might actually fit this role very well. So, yeah, I think he's kind of getting involved in a lot more now. And yeah,
Krasinski, wasn't he in 13 Hours or what?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, he
Michael
was
Bay,
great
too.
in that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, all I can see about it, it's the only other thing I could say of note is that its main producer is Michael Bay.
Fuck.
So, yeah, looking it up and you see that, you're like, oh, okay.
You get some explosions, I'm telling you that.
All right, anything else to add for that one? No? All right, so we'll move on.
I'll just say my interest is piqued.
What's it called again?
A Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place. Right. Let me write this down.
April 6th.
Yes, yeah.
So we'll have to check some trailers out after we're done
Yeah.
recording.
Definitely.
All right, so we'll go on to Romano's number 9.
Big surprise! I put a Spider-Man movie on my list, and it's not Venom.
Oh,
Fuck Venom. That ain't fuck on my list.
so this is the
It's the
Spider-Verse
animated
one?
Yeah, the animated movie. Looks just that little trailer that was put out there. The animation, I think, is really what got me, because it looks like almost like part live action, part animated.
Yeah, it looks photoreal for a lot
Yeah,
of that
it does.
stuff.
It really does, and I think that's really. I mean, it's Spider-Man, so of course I'm gonna go see it. So I mean, that's a no-brainer. That and the fact that I did see that they did tease a little bit of Peter Parker up in that action. And
Well, the Spider-Verse storyline, I think, in the comics was a real big hit, I think, for them
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
it was, and I don't know anything about it. I want to read it. I've never read it, so
Yeah, they have a trade of
Yeah, I was-
Spider-Verse.
yeah, you showed me that. And I should have got it, and I probably will at some point here.
And that's
to
yeah,
read it.
I haven't read it either, and I've been really wanting
That's
to.
Yeah,
That's been on my list, but it's usually. I guess it just kind of involves around like this was before all the multiverse like died off. I guess in the Marvel universe, so
Yeah.
you still have the Ultimate Universe and all these other spin-off universes with different Spider-Men in them.
yeah,
And there's something that happens that brings all of these Spider characters together.
yeah.
So I think that's where like Spider-Gwen came from.
Yeah, I mean, it really
was
focused
from
on
Spider-Verse.
the time Miles Morales got into the regular universe.
Well, I mean, he was existing in the Ultimate Universe.
He was in the
for a
Ultimate
while
Universe,
before
but
that.
now there is no Ultimate Universe, and it's
I
all
was gonna say,
smashed together.
Right. Yeah, because the Spider-Verse was the whole thing of when Peter Parker and Miles, I think, first met. That was how they all got together.
Yeah, but I mean, just the animation on it was. I was like, wow. I was like, because at first when I first saw it, I wasn't paying attention to it. I saw like it was like might have been like a police car or something, or a taxi or something like that, and I was like, that guy looks real. And then you
Yeah.
see like a cartoon Miles Morales like hopping through the screen. I'm like, damn. So
Yeah.
I think just because of the animation and it's Spider-Man, of course, that I just want to see it. So
I think this is actually the movie that Phil Lord and Chris Miller should be involved in now after they got kicked off of Han Solo.
okay.
They had a treatment for this, and then they left Sony to do the Han Solo film, and then they left. Obviously, got fired from Han Solo, so I think they fell back to maybe like finish that movie off. I think.
Well, my biggest thing is I'm going to treat this as, this is a Sony movie. I'm going to treat this as like the DC movies. All their animated movies are better than the live action movies. So I'm thinking that this is going to be better.
Yeah, I mean they could go. Animation gives them so much freedom; they could do whatever they want.
I mean, you know me, my ooh shiny. That's fucking ooh shiny.
I'm curious to see how many, like, if this is going to be the start of like a Spider-Verse trilogy.
That'd be cool.
Because if it's Edge of Spider-Verse, maybe this is leading up to like a proper Spider-Verse movie for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of curious how many Spider characters they're going to put in this movie. If it's just going to be Miles and Peter, or if they're going to go bigger than that.
Dude, I hope I get to see
Oh,
some Peter
God.
Porker. That's all I gotta say.
I'm sure there's a chance.
Almost a Peter
Spider-Pig.
Porker. Yep.
Yeah, that one was floating around the edge of my list. It didn't crack the top 10. I'm probably gonna end up putting it as an honorable mention for me. But yeah, I knew this movie was coming. I want to hate basically anything that Sony does Spider-Man wise, but that trailer did look pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
it definitely piqued my interest.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything to add for Spider-Verse?
I mean, it looked interesting to me. Do you know when it is supposed to be out? Is it going to be theatrical?
Christmas. That is that is a Christmas release, 2018.
Yeah, it's late.
Again, it's so weird to me that they're putting out an animated movie in the middle of all of that, like 2 months after Venom. But
Oh yeah.
Hey, all right.
Well, then it's like right before, probably 6 months or whatever, or 7 months before Homecoming 2.
It's sequel, yeah. Yep. See, that's what I mean.
So we could be on Spider-Man overload between the end of 2018 into 2019.
That excites me.
Mike has no problem with that.
That
Yeah.
excites me.
Do you plan on seeing Venom, Mike, or are you saying screw that movie?
I need to see a trailer first.
Okay.
I'm not sold because I can't believe what I'm seeing on the internet right now.
Yeah.
Because they're showing like the first images, supposedly the first images of Tom Hardy as Venom, and he's basically dressed as Agent Venom, which is not Tom Hardy, which is not Eddie Brock.
Right.
So that'd be Flash Thompson. So
Uh-huh.
that's a big issue with me right off the bat. So I wanted.
Is he? Do we actually know? Is he cast as Eddie Brock?
Yes.
Or Flash? He is. Okay.
Yes.
Because I don't know. Like, we know he's supposed to be Venom, but I didn't know if they gave him the character under the suit, like what
Yeah.
his actual character name
They're
of the suit
they're
is.
supposed to be basing the story off of the very first time Venom had its own series. He was not a villain. He was actually more of an anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. I gotta wait till it gets a little further.
What do you think the chances are we get Anti-Venom as the villain?
Well, I'm hearing what I read is that they're supposed to be like I just read this today too, actually, because I was actually just looking around just to see if I could find anything about it to maybe put it on my list. But I guess there's supposed to be 5 other symbiote things, and I heard Woody Harrelson just signed. So I mean, they're putting some.
Cletus.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thought. And
Well,
'cause-
Carnage has been the
Yeah.
rumored villain, I think, for a while.
Yeah, I think it's going to lead into Carnage, to be honest with you, because the way they were talking, there was going to be like 5 lesser-known symbiotes. I guess they're like 5 offspring of Venom. I guess if you want to call it
Is
offspring.
that a thing?
Yeah, I can't remember their names.
All right.
I mean, that's how Anti-Venom came along.
Yeah.
But
See, I'm not up on the Spider-Man lore.
there were some other symbiote-based characters that they even said their names and they sounded familiar at the time. Now I can't remember them at all.
Did anyone else know that Michelle Williams, Jenny Slate, and Riz Ahmed from Rogue One are in this as well?
No.
I
I
did
think
not
I
either.
heard Jenny Slate for some reason. That name sounds familiar, being associated with that movie.
Yeah. Huh. They are actually trying to make this legit, at least.
Doesn't mean it's going to be good.
This is true, but it sounds like they're trying.
I mean,
Put
yeah,
it-
the
putting a
cast.
good-
Yeah, so far
good
the
foundation
cast.
in.
Yeah, so far the cast is. I mean, you got Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson. As long as that's an actual, if that's actually true, Woody Harrelson signed.
If that happens, yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Give me a little Tallahassee. Good. Yeah.
That's another sequel that's well overdue.
Oh, absolutely.
I thought they were making that a TV show.
They were supposed to. That fell through. Then it was supposed to be another movie. Then it was supposed to be another sequel. Then if that fell through, who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's supposedly if there is a sequel, it might not. Might not have the original 4 characters. There's a whole bunch of mess going around about that.
Nobody knows what to do with that
No.
movie.
Yeah. That was 9 years ago already.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
You think
did not
now by the
realize
time
that.
the sequel comes out, it might be past its prime?
No. I think that movie only found more fans since its release.
Yeah,
Even
I
if
was
they
gonna
change
say,
up the whole
if
cast?
they have the original, that's the problem. if they have the original cast, everybody's right back on board
Yeah.
for it. If they change the cast, it's going to be wait and see who the cast is.
Very, very true.
And then let me decide
Yeah,
if I'm
but
on
fair
board.
enough.
that's such an age difference. How could I mean, Abigail Breslin, she's like a mature girl now. Like I mean, how could
Yeah.
you can't? Are you gonna be able to have that time jump in the zombie apocalypse?
Sure.
I mean, I guess.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, they made it that far. I mean, I just bring back Bill Murray too. Why not?
that is exactly what they. No, that's a genius idea. He comes back. They're like he's still Bill Murray. He's himself. They don't even explain how or why he's dead. They kind of mention it, but they don't worry about an explanation. They just go on with the scene.
Yeah.
Life model decoy, man.
Oh God, I want that movie so bad. All right, I digress.
Anything else for Spider-Verse?
No.
No? Okay. We'll move on to my number 9. My number 9 was another late addition to my list. Again, I just happened to see a trailer today that I saw being passed around YouTube, and it looked interesting to me. And I don't really know anything about it other than the trailer, but it's called Alita Battle Angel. Has anybody heard about this?
I've heard about it, but
I
I didn't see the
I
trailer.
have.
Directed
I had
by...
that on my
I
calendar.
watched the trailer.
It's Robert Rodriguez directing.
Yeah.
Screenplay by James Cameron. As far as Jennifer Connelly's in it, Christopher Waltz is in it, Michelle Rodriguez, Jackie Earle Haley, Casper Van Dyne,
Nice.
Ed Shriek. Why do I know Ed Shriek? What is he from? That name's familiar.
Ed Screen. He was
Screen.
Deadpool,
Deadpool, wasn't he in
Yeah,
Deadpool?
Francis.
Deadpool, yeah.
Francis.
Yeah.
Age.
Okay.
Captain Francis. Oh, I'm gonna butcher his name.
Yeah, I was gonna get there,
Mahershala
too.
Ali from he
Moonlight,
was in Luke Cage and House of Cards, Moonlight.
Cottonmouth. He was Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
Cottonmouth, yeah. He was in.
He's awesome.
Free State of Jones too. Fucking terrible.
Well, he just won an Oscar for something else, so I guess
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
he's
judge
alright.
everybody by Free State of Jones.
No, I like him as an actor actually.
Yeah.
So the trailer, at least from what I can gather, this Alita character must be like an android or a robot or something that they assemble, maybe of some importance because it seemed like people are after her, but she seems to be like computer animated, like very close to real life, but definitely CG, interacting with live action actors and a live action world. So that in itself intrigues me, just to see how well they pull that kind of special effect off. Like, I feel like it's Avatar level, or at least like when Avatar came out, you're like, oh shit, that looks really fucking good. That's the kind of sense I got from this. Like, it was hard for me to tell just watching the trailer if she was real or CG in certain scenes, and already you've got me hooked with that level of special effects. So I don't really know anything about it. The trailer looked cool, and it was cool enough for me to put it on my list at number 9. So I don't know if anybody else I can't remember because we all sort of talked at once. But did anybody else see or hear about this movie?
I've heard about it. I didn't watch the trailer though.
Okay.
I watched the trailer. It's interesting to me, but it didn't make my
Okay.
list. It's something I'll watch when it gets to, digital.
Fair enough.
It's something I'll go see when I'm using my movie pass and barely paying for that movie.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, so we'll loop back around to Josh. Josh is number 8.
All right. This was sort of like a late edition guilty pleasure series for Sarah and I. On a whim. Well, the long story is, I get the entry is Maze Runner 3.
All right.
Okay.
Death
Cure, is that the name of it?
The Death Cure, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've not read these books. The first movie looked interesting enough as like a, if I'm flipping through and it's on a movie channel somewhere someday, maybe I'll sit down and watch it. And it started that I tried to watch the movie on our plane ride home from our honeymoon. And of course I had like the only seat in our entire section that had a faulty entertainment system. So I got like a half an hour into it and I was really digging it, and then the system died and would not work the rest of the plane. So I had like an 8-hour flight back from London. Very, very bored. But eventually we put it back on. I was like, hey, this was, really cool. We should give it a shot. we actually finished the whole movie. We really dug it. By that time, the second movie, Scorch Trials, I think, was released, and it was out on DVD already, so we picked that up and really liked it. And I think, from what I understand, I guess there's like actually 4 or 5 books in the series. I don't know if they're planning on making all those movies or if it's just going to end in a trilogy. But it was cool enough that I'm interested, to see the next chapter / possible conclusion.
Yeah, I wonder if they will get, because like I feel like the young adult genre, like when Twilight got real popular and they started just pumping all that stuff out.
Yeah,
I don't feel like you see a lot of those turned into movies anymore, and the ones that are still out there aren't doing as well as they were. So I don't know if they would get 5 movies out of that if they want to.
Yeah,
I feel like when the Hunger Games ended, it ended that genre.
Yeah,
exactly. I'd say the Maze Runner is young adult in the way that it's rooted in people who are like late teenagers. That's how old they're supposed to be. And there's definitely sort of like a, what's going on, slightly alternate dystopia reality to it, just like Hunger Games, just like Divergent. But where, like, I enjoyed the Divergent books for the most part, but after the second movie, I bowed out. I was like, this is terrible.
Those movies were awful.
They really were.
I didn't even watch the second one. I couldn't.
That fucking Shaylee Williams bitch just needs to stop making movies because they're terrible. She's a terrible
like some
actor.
of her, some of like the choices, like not the acting choices, just the project choices. She just needs to find, at least like in terms of film, needs to find a good one again, because she's done some TV stuff like that. She was on that HBO show that was really big that got a bunch of nominations or something. But yeah, the Divergent movies were really intolerable. Like, I didn't even bother seeing the third one. And I guess I forget if they made a fourth or whatever the frick they did, but Maze Runner definitely held my interest much more. And I think a large part is it's due to the lead actor, who was also just in that American Assassin movie.
Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah, he there's something about him that I definitely dig. He's like, from the first couple of minutes of Maze Runner, he's just one of those actors that just like grabs you, and you're like, I can't stop watching what this guy says and does and chooses and what's going to happen to him. He has a talent, and especially after American Assassin, I was really impressed with him. So yeah, I think this is gonna be one of the first that I'm gonna hit next year. It comes out in late January. So yep, that's my number 8.
Yeah, 'cause that got pushed back a while because he was apparently, I think when he was filming a movie or something like that, he was in a car accident or something like that he had to have like surgery and all kinds of shit. Because I was supposed to come out last year
for a while.
This was the one that got delayed.
Yeah,
that they were making during it. Yeah.
He's kind of like that the dude from Kingsman. Like, I just kind of like want to just watch him act.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Like, I could see him and the dude from Kingsman being like in the next like X-Men movies or something like that. Like, me and Brian talked about that. We wanted him to be Cyclops so bad.
Yeah,
in
Taron
the worst
Egerton,
way.
I really, really wanted to be Cyclops.
Yeah, he's got the jawline for it, like you say. He's got the jawline for it.
Yes.
Okay, so before we started the show proper, we were on a tangent about...
Oh, let's not get back on that goddamn tangent.
Right. I'm not going to.
The derailer has spoken. No derailing this.
I'm just referencing it to make a point. But we should do that at some point, because I just got a really fun idea to talk about, like, fan casting and stuff for that going forward. So
yeah, if that deal happens, fan casting I think is a must for the X-Men franchise.
That's going to be fun. All right, we'll put a pin in that for later.
All right, so we'll move on to Mike Bradley's number 8.
My number 8 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Obviously, love the first movie. Paul Rudd is hilarious as Ant-Man. I think he was even better in Civil War than he was in his own movie.
Agreed.
But that makes me just think he's growing into the character even more, and perhaps, now that his giant man abilities have been shown to the world, that perhaps we're going to, get even more of a taste of that in Ant-Man and the Wasp, which to me says awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like
And
I feel like that ability to him is so taxing. I don't know how much we'll get that. I feel like Civil War
I don't
could be a
know.
one and done for that, at least for a while.
I'm thinking we're
I don't
more
know, it's a
likely.
big part
I'm
of the
thinking we're more
character.
likely to see it in Infinity War.
Yeah, that's probably
Sure.
true.
I mean, we'll probably see it.
I just think it's I just think it's such a big part
Yeah,
of the
it is.
character that after so long he was no longer Ant-Man, he was Giant
Yeah.
Man. So I don't see Ant-Man and the Wasp turning into a third movie. I see that just turning them into a mainstay with the Avengers, taking their rightful place as it should be, since they were among the original 5 Avengers.
Hank Pym.
Except not these versions, right? Scott Lang was not, and Janet Van Dyne was not. Or Hope, sorry, Hope.
Hope, yeah, it was
No.
Janet Van
Yeah, I
Dyne.
was saying,
Janet
Hope,
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had me confused. I'm like, wait, Janet Van Dyne was, but that wasn't the character.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
My
bad.
No, they weren't, but Ant-Man and the Wasp were,
Right.
and I feel like the Avengers themselves aren't whole without those two taking part all the
Yeah.
time. They add an interesting dynamic outside the group within the stories of the comics, where you have this, married couple that's also, or that's there within the group, and the rest of them are just kind of there, and they're kind of like I don't know if you watch How I Met Your Mother, they're the Marshall and Lily of the Avengers. They hold things together, and it feels like family because of them. And that's hopefully a big part of what they could draw in moving forward, should we happen to lose some of our main characters. Not to mention, especially as we had talked earlier, if the Fantastic Four come along, getting Reed Richards and Hank Pym together in some of the stuff that they've done in the comics, that opens up a lot.
Yeah. We'll have to speculate on the whole Marvel Fox thing later.
Well, Scott Lang, not Hank Pym. What am I? Yeah. But
yeah, I could see those characters stepping up along with others after the next couple Avengers movies, and we see how all the fallout from all of that. I definitely think you're going to see some other characters step up and take those, be a part of that Avengers team, because I don't know how many are going to be around after all those movies are said and done. But yeah, those are they're definitely a logical pick, I think, for that. So we'll see how much they're featured going forward.
yeah, I think Paul Rudd's pretty well received by the fans at this point. It's just how much of it can they take before it gets old.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if it's Ant-Man and the Wasp with him and Evangeline Lilly bouncing off each other, maybe that'll add a different dynamic and make it a little bit more fun that way. I really want to know where this is going to fit in the MCU timeline. Because this comes out in the gap between Avengers 3 and 4. So what type of story are they going to tell there?
Well, he's also not really billed to be in the Avengers. He's not. I haven't seen anything with him in it.
I mean, you have to assume he's there.
Yeah, I think he shows up. He is billed, at least minimally, to appear in Infinity War, but correct to what extent, how intricate will his part be, how involved, it could be very limited.
He could have been in every shot of that trailer. You don't know. He could just be real small.
Yeah, they both could be. For all we know, he's riding War Machine's
Yeah.
back. He's just hanging out.
You rode War Machine on your back.
Yeah, I debated putting this one in my list too. It did not make my list, so I was going to throw this in for one of my honorable mentions, because I do really like Ant-Man, the first one. I think it's probably one of the underrated films in the MCU. I still have a fun time watching it anytime it's on.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm anxious to see what they do in the sequel and where they take that, and see if it connects to Infinity War at all, or if it's just going to be like I don't know if they're just going to set it somewhere else, like before all the shit hits the fan with Infinity War, and they're going to tell their own single sort of Ant-Man story. This is another one where I really just want to see a trailer and see what they're trying to do with this one. If it's going to be another heist movie or some what type of genre they're going to try to fit this one in, I have no idea. So I'm definitely a lot curious about this one.
Yeah, my feelings on Ant-Man have been well documented here. But I will say, again, I think that was a perfect opening, Bradley, that I think he was spotlighted better in... He was utilized better in just the right ways in Civil War as opposed to having his own franchise to roll with. But some of the other cast that got added to the second round, like Walton Goggins and frickin' Lawrence Fishburne, that I didn't realize. I'm cool with that. And anything...
Michelle Pfeiffer too, right? Isn't Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie?
Yeah, she's Janet Van Dyne.
Playing Janet,
right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that gets my boy DeSmulchin back on screen with his awesome accent, they'll obviously get, my ticket at least once.
I mean, I want to go just for the Michael Pena scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else to add for Ant-Man and the Wasp? Nothing? Alright, so we're going to go to Romano's number 8.
That's actually my number 8 also.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
There you go. Easy enough.
Great Mike
Yeah,
stink away.
And I mean, it's just I love the first one. I still it's still up there, honestly, for me in the easily top 10 of the Marvel movies. I don't know why. I think I just like because it's like a little more comedic, and Michael Pena's character I think really just makes the movie. To be honest with you, and then the whole he said she said little storylines.
Yeah.
I hope they do that at least once.
I'm just hoping they don't
that has to
overdo
happen.
it.
Yeah.
Like, I liked it enough. He did it like 2 or 3 times in the first one. If it goes upwards of like 10,
Yeah.
every time they want to tell a story is like that, by the end of the movie I might be like, okay, I've had my fill.
Yeah.
I could see them making a joke of that joke, and like him doing it like 3 times, and then him going to do it a 4th, and Paul Rudd just cutting him off like, yeah, all right, we get it. Like, just what happened? What's the end?
Yeah. And I'd be okay with that. I'd be fine with that. I just... They know it was a hit the first time, and depending on how people look at that, sometimes they really, really overdo those things in the next one. Alright, so we'll go on to my number 8. My number 8, mainly just because I'm curious, and I really want to see a trailer for this. I'm surprised we haven't got one already leading up to Last Jedi, but I'm going to put Solo, a Star Wars story, at my number 8.
Number 8?
Number 8.
Number 8?
Yes, I put a Star Wars movie
what?
below my top 5.
This is so low on Brian's list because he's afraid of this movie.
I am.
Wow.
And if I seen a trailer, it probably would have been higher. But because this is so like media blackout, I don't know what to expect from this.
Wow.
I think with Last Jedi we're gonna get a trailer. I think tomorrow we're getting a trailer.
Yeah, I would think by now. I would hope by now, but I don't know. Maybe they are waiting to the very, very last minute to show a trailer. Because we are 6 months away, and there's been nothing. So, I don't even think they've had a lot of production photos from this movie at all either.
I've seen like 2.
Yeah, so
The
either they're afraid of it and they don't know
Yeah.
how to market it or what to do with it.
Well,
But, I mean, considering the bad taste this movie has in a lot of people's mouths after all the behind-the-scenes drama, you have to do something at this point to start reassuring people that this movie is going to be fine and it's still going to be fun.
yeah, I the production photos are one thing. I would assume the reason that they don't do trailers yet is because it is only 6 months after one of your episode entries, and for the positive buzz that Last Jedi has been getting for months. Number one, they don't want to detract from something that is rating so high, trending so high, and you don't want to muddy the waters with something that has been a rocky road.
Yeah, but this is where I feel like if they start to have confidence in this movie, this is where they show it. In front of the movie, everyone's going to go see.
Yes.
Give us a
Yes.
trailer that starts making this movie look good, and you're generating positive buzz just from that.
Yes.
And we've talked before, I don't think this trailer needs to be anything special. Like, if you just show me shots of Donald Glover dressed as Lando Calrissian, Alden Ehrenreich in the Han Solo getup, shots of the Falcon, Chewbacca, show me some action scenes, and I would have put this in my top 5 had I got something just like that.
Yeah,
Not even story elements, just...
I think you'll get it this weekend. I really do. But I think from a business and marketing standpoint and PR, the reason they didn't do it already is because they don't want to take the attention away from episode 8. Get that one in theaters first.
I agree with that. I think that's more the reason than them being ashamed of what they've produced. Because I honestly don't think that Disney would hesitate for a second to pull it back and tell them to redo it and move the date if they thought it wasn't good.
I think it's more compared to what they've done the past 3 Star Wars movies. Like, Force Awakens trailers have been out more than a year, like a teaser trailer, more than a year before it's done. Same with Last Jedi. They put out a teaser trailer long time ago just to get buzz for that going. And even Rogue One, I feel like, was longer than 6 months ahead of time when they put out their first trailer. We haven't even got one trailer.
Yeah, but all those movies were a year apart from each other.
Right, but even still, I feel like I can understand not confusing marketing for Last Jedi with Solo. You don't want those out at the same time before Last Jedi comes out, but I don't know. I still would have banked on a trailer being out by now for when this movie releases. So if a trailer does not come out this weekend, I will be thoroughly disappointed.
I'd be very surprised.
I agree. Yes to both. Surprised and disappointed.
Yeah, so we'll see. I don't even know if this. I'm curious to see if this movie shows up on anybody else's list, or if it's just me, because I don't know if anybody else is really watching it with as much. Because I feel like we've talked about it before, and I don't feel like this is a Star Wars movie most people are getting excited about. So I'm curious to see if this ends up on anybody else's list. All right, so we'll loop back around to Josh for number 7.
All right, Josh's number 7. I wasn't expecting to put this on. I haven't even seen anything about it in terms of trailers or anything. I just like the general idea, and I love the frickin' cast. I am going with Ocean's 8. This is basically, boil it down, this is the lady version of Ocean's 11. But the director is Gary Ross, who did the first Hunger Games movie. He was a writer, and I'm going to see if he was director. I knew he was at least a writer. No, I'm sorry. He was just a writer on the movie Big, Tom Hanks, back in the late 80s. He was a writer on Pleasantville, which I thought was one of the most underrated movies of the 90s. This is going to be a strike against me immediately, I know, but he is the screenplay writer and director of A Free State of Jones.
I'm not saying anything.
And that was just a complete coincidence. I didn't realize it till I was going back through his resume right this instant. But Ocean's 8, the cast includes Cate Blanchett, Olivia Munn. Again, I've been in for Olivia Munn for years, ever since
She's terrible.
ever since she was on the Daily Show for like 6 seconds a couple years ago. Like, she has nerd credentials. I love her in the newsroom.
She is good in the newsroom.
She can play. She can play smart. She can play geek. She can. I don't know. I like her. Sandra Bullock, Dakota Fanning, Anne Hathaway. Sarah Paulson. I've become a huge fan of the last couple years because of American Horror Story. Helena Bonham Carter, Mindy Kaling. Like, it reads like an amazing cast in my opinion. And yeah, while they might just say like, okay, so it's Ocean's 11. It's a heist movie with women. Yeah, but we haven't seen that before. And I think the diversity of the styles that you have here, a lot of these women are excellent at drama, but their comedic chops are, I think, very undervalued. Mm-hmm. And when you put them together, I think it's just going to be a good time. That's all I'm looking for.
I will say, I could care less if they make, it doesn't bother me when they do the female version of this or that or the other. But as soon as Sandra Bullock's the top billed person on, I'm out. That to me, Sandra Bullock's the star. You can count me out. Had they gone Julia Roberts and just said, okay, we're going to just play off of what it was with Ocean's 11 and take her character and put her in charge of it, I'm in. But with Sandra Bullock leading it, I'm out.
What is your beef
It
with
just-
Sandra Bullock?
What's your Bullock beef?
Seriously? You can watch Sandra Bullock movies and not just groan the whole time?
Miss Congeniality is a modern classic, sir.
Mm.
You're telling me you don't like Speed
Okay.
because Sandra Bullock is in it?
Well, no, I like Speed because Keanu Reeves is in it. I ignore the Sandra Bullock part for Keanu. I can deal with it in certain situations. I can deal with her, but when she is the lead, it's gonna just not work for me. Like I can't do it. I can't
I've
do it.
always had a soft spot for the Net from the 90s.
Yeah. And I again, you might just as well counter with Melissa McCartney, but I thought that The Heat was one of the funniest comedies I've seen in years.
I hate Melissa McCarthy, but I did like that movie.
See?
I told you, Melissa
Romano would
McCarthy is just
counter
the female
with
version of
Bullock.
Chris Farley. That's all it is.
And what's wrong with that?
No,
I
I'll
think
take that
Melissa
back.
McCarthy's
Female
hilarious.
version of Jack Black. Because it's the same fucking character every time.
Mm.
Chris Farley was funny. She's not funny.
If you say the female version of Jack Black, I
It
get
is a
what you're
female
saying.
Jack. That's what I meant to say. I apologize.
So Melissa McCartney is not in Ocean's 8. So I don't.
I just had to
know,
voice my opinion about Melissa McCarthy. I do every time I'm on here.
I don't know if that
I was
means.
just voicing mine about Sandra Bullock. And hey.
So I don't know if that
Um,
means that Romano is more likely to maybe entertain the idea of seeing
No,
Ocean's 8
absolutely
because
not.
Melissa McCartney's not in it. And I don't know, and I guess Bradley is saying he's much more disinclined to give it a chance because Sandra Bullock.
I'll wait till it's on Redbox.
If you take Sandra
Fair
Bullock out and you put Melissa McCarthy in, I'm going to see it.
But then I lose Romano altogether.
You lost
You're-
him with the Free State of
you're-
Jones. That, like, is,
Yeah, we should just start playing 6 Degrees of Free State of Jones at this point. I'll be there, Josh. I'll see it.
Like I said, I'm interested. I think it could be fun.
Fucking Free State
fair
Jones.
enough.
All right, so before we get
I'll tell you
bogged
this, I
down
haven't even
anymore-
finished it yet. That's how bad it is.
It's still on pause at like the 1 hour and 2 minute mark.
That's like almost exactly where it's at, yes.
Just perpetually sitting in the DVD player somewhere.
And no, HBO had a free weekend, so I recorded it, and
Okay.
it's still there. Because I saw that and Glory were back to back. I recorded both of them. Glory is by far one of the best Civil War movies ever made, with Denzel, Matthew
I say
Broderick.
it's the best.
It's up there. No,
The best,
Gettysburg's still the
period.
best, but
Gettysburg didn't have heart.
I like it.
Glory has
You
heart.
can't tell me when Joshua Chamberlain yells bayonets, you don't get goosebumps. Look, I can get it right now. Okay, back on track. Let's go, because I gotta go to bed.
All right, Romano wants this train moving. Bradley, number 7.
My number 7, Pacific Rim Uprising. I am just looking for a rip-roaring good time at the theater with that one. I'm not, I've said it many times. To me, a Pacific Rim movie coming back out might sound kind of like a Transformers movie, but I anticipate this being way better than any
Yeah, fuck
Transformers movie that was ever made.
It's not Michael Bay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like the best Transformers movie ever made right now.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
yeah. John Boyega leading this off. I'm on board.
Definitely.
It just looks like it's going to be a hell of a lot of fun.
Definitely.
The first one, once again, not a great movie, not a cinematic, wonderkind of any kind, but it was fun as hell to watch, and I still watch it
Yeah.
all the time.
First one still has that like cult classic feel to it.
That's like, it's like one of those movies like that and Battleship. Like, I don't know, for some reason I could just throw it on at any time I watch it. And even though, yes.
I don't know if I'd
even-
agree with you with Battleship.
Battleship,
but
yes, I get it. Battleship is a Michael Bay movie. But for some reason, I don't know why, I can watch Battleship. If it's on TV, I'll sit there and watch it. I don't know why. No fucking clue.
I hear you on that. And the only thing with Battleship that, I mean, it's it's a monster and alien invasion movie, and I can always watch those kind of things. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll never watch Independence Day Resurgence again. That's
I
never
still
going to
not
happen.
watching it because everybody
But-
bashed it, so I'm like, I ain't wasting time.
You should watch it just to sort of joke at it.
That's just like Fantastic Four. Still haven't watched
The
that yet either.
ridiculousness. Yeah.
Neither have I. But with the new one, with Uprising, I'm looking forward to. They got Charlie Day back. That's huge to me because I can watch that guy do anything. It's Always Sunny is one of my favorite shows. It's hilarious, largely because of him and Danny DeVito. It's watchable. And him coming back is going to be great. His scientist buddy, I don't know that actor's name. I have no idea. But that guy's back as well. And then you have John Boyega. This just looks like it's going to be awesome. I will be there in the theater for this one, in IMAX, in 3D, because that's what this is made for.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, absolutely.
Josh, do you know, is this movie Stephen DeKnight's first directorial debut?
I am not familiar. I do not know.
Because I know DeKnight's done a lot of TV shows. He was, I think, originally the showrunner for Daredevil on Netflix.
Along with Goddard?
Or maybe he took over for Goddard. I don't
Maybe.
remember. He was involved with Daredevil, I know, for a little while, and I don't remember. He isn't now, obviously, because I think he took the movie gig.
Right.
But I know he's done a lot of TV work and stuff like that. So I feel like this is his first movie.
Yes.
Okay.
He previously had some Angel, Smallville, Dollhouse, and one
Joss Whedon
episode
alum.
of Daredevil in the first season.
Okay.
And then
He also did
listed as producer on
he was-
Daredevil as well.
He also did a lot of Spartacus.
Okay. That's okay.
Writer. Yep. Oh yeah, he did that like whole series. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how he does with a big budget blockbuster as like his first movie.
Well,
You
I'm
know,
sure.
people could live and die sometimes by that. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
I mean, I'm sure that this movie cost a pretty penny, so somebody had to have, hopefully, a good amount of confidence in what he was pitching and what he was bringing.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know if, like, since Del Toro did the first one, if he sort of would have had to sign off on the second one, or if it's just the studio picking somebody they like. I don't know how much Del Toro would have been involved in this.
Right.
Because I know he was pulling real hard for a sequel. And it didn't look like it was going to get made, and now they're moving forward with it. So I don't know how much say he had in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see where this story goes. Because I guess, I don't know, since they sort of wrapped it up, it seemed like in the first one, I want to see how they decide to keep this going.
Yeah.
And if they turn this into a franchise or what they want to try to do. But either way, that first one had so many cool fucking action sequences with it that I just want to see what they do with giant fucking robots and monsters.
That's what they should probably put on the poster.
It's
Giant
quoted by
fucking
Brian Super
robots and
Friends.
monsters. That's all you need.
Come see
And
Pacific
that's-
Rim.
Yeah, that's it. This one didn't make my list, but I was going to throw it in for an honorable mention for me.
Same.
It made my
Looping
list.
around to Romano's number 7.
Equalizer 2, bitches.
Oh.
That's just
Did
like
not
the
see that
Denzel
coming.
Washington. That's the Denzel Washington version of John Wick, which is just awesome. So, I don't know. I love that
Or-
first movie.
Or is John Wick a Keanu Reeves version of Equalizer?
Vice versa. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I'm a huge Denzel Washington fan. I fucking love him, and I
Okay.
love that first movie. That's another one of those movies I could just watch it anytime. Just throw it in and just watch it. So, and I just love seeing Denzel kick some ass, and that's all I want to see again.
This is quite a long time between sequels, before a
Not
sequel
really.
for this, isn't it? I mean,
like a
Equalizer
couple
was.
years. A couple
4
years.
years.
That's
Four,
it?
maybe 5. Yeah, it was 2014, 2015, something like that. I think.
Really?
It's
That
yeah,
feels
saying
longer
14.
ago.
You know,
I think Denzel did a string of stuff that just seemed like Denzel Washington with a gun.
Yeah.
It was that
okay.
Liam Neeson syndrome.
2014.
Yeah, right. So kind of like that, like 7 of Bruce Willis's movies just kind of meld together in my mind. Some of them even ended up being like straight to video because they just ended up basically being the same thing. That guy with a gun on the screen. So yeah, maybe that's like why you thought it was earlier that maybe there was. Oh, do you remember that one? Wasn't the one he did with Mark Wahlberg just like flat out called Two Guns?
Yeah.
So
That was
maybe
the year,
a couple years.
before.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's thinking of things like that. Maybe it just seems further away.
Yeah, it's 2013 and 2014. But I don't know. I'm just a big Denzel fan. I love not every movie he's done, but like I just think he's a great actor. And,
Oh yeah, he always brings the
and
goods.
the first one, I think it was because the first one surprised me so much that I was like, damn, that was a great movie. And then the whole, fight scene in the Lowe's store or whatever, the big box, home improvement store. I never look at those stores ever the same way again. Like I'm walking around there like, how can I kill somebody with this? I mean, what would Denzel do? I nearly get a what wristband made like that.
Get you a shirt like that.
How would Denzel
WWDD,
kill
what
you?
would Denzel do? But yeah, that's my number 7.
Well, if
Cool, cool.
if next year we do a Bry Guy like Secret Santa or something, I know what Romano's getting.
You give me a nail gun.
I think you
Alright,
took that to the extreme.
That comment was straight out of Multiplicity, where the stupid copy of Michael Keaton is like, "Oh, we're gonna get you a present, buddy," and he says, "A chainsaw."
That's a deep cut. I like that movie.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so we'll move on to my number 7. My number 7 is Black Panther. It's hard not to love what the MCU is doing. This one's probably, had I not seen a trailer, I don't know how high it would have been on my list. But the trailers are really getting me excited. And since it seems like even after the Infinity War trailer, this might actually be a very good lead into Infinity War, I'm even more excited for this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really just want to see Wakanda. Like we haven't seen Wakanda on screen yet, so I want to see what that city looks like.
I agree.
Yeah.
Playing off of what he said about Denzel, before any of this was all announced, I was actually really hoping they did an older Black Panther and had it be Denzel as the Black Panther. I was hoping for that originally. When it wasn't going to be that, I was hoping he was going to be T'Chaka. Didn't turn out that way.
That'd be cool.
But
He's too expensive for that.
they could have had him play a bigger role rather than have him, killed in Civil War. That would have, could have had a different role. But nonetheless, I'm really looking forward to this one, giving this character proper treatment. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I kind of expect this to show up on other people's lists.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Okay.
I'm chock full of Marvel stuff.
That's what
surprised.
we should have tallied how many Marvel and comic book movies and all that stuff everybody has on their lists.
Hold on.
So I'm gonna be the black sheep, and this is not on my 10.
Black sheep.
Oh.
I would say yeah. I would say though it absolutely would be like my 10.1. Like it was that close. And I think that's what I started doing is I was putting my list together and I'm like, okay, like 8 of my 10 movies cannot just be comic book stuff. And like what else out there is interesting, what looks different, and I know I'm going to enjoy the hell out of Black Panther. Like it's going to be amazing. And honestly, I'm hoping that in the way that Wonder Woman was the gateway into all of this stuff with the shared universes and geeky pop culture for like the female contingent out there, I hope like it is 100% like bring in that minority crowd more than anything. Like if this is what like black people come to celebrate, is someone like them up on the screen doing everything that I'm like. I rewatched Civil War like 2 weeks ago. Haven't seen it in over a year.
Shame on you.
Chadwick Boseman kicks the crap out of all of them.
Everyone. And he takes no prisoners in that movie.
He doesn't, and it was such a good introduction because it wasn't just like shoehorning him in. Like he goes toe to toe with Cap, with Iron Man, with Winter Soldier. Like there's no reason not to celebrate this and not to. And look, obviously you have War Machine, you have Don Cheadle, you have the character of Sam Wilson and the Falcon. They're second string.
Yeah.
Black Panther is on the starting line, and this movie, like, culturally, for what it looks like, with the design, the settings, the costumes, all of it, like, it just looks incredible.
Yeah, plus this is Ryan Coogler, I think, was the director, and
Yep.
he's coming off of Creed.
Oh yeah.
Like
So
Creed.
this is a definite step up for him as far as budget on a movie. So we'll see what he does with a big budget.
I think he'll be fine. He seems like a guy who knows how to make a good movie. Doesn't matter if it's $20 or 200 million.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, this gets me more excited just from watching Creed. Just see what he does with this movie. So, yeah, this should be pretty good.
And Michonne is in it.
Mm-hmm.
From
She gets to
Walking
kick some
Dead.
ass. She gets to kick some ass.
I'm very
Yeah.
interested to see her in a different role.
Yeah.
This will be the first time I've watched her in a significant role that isn't Michonne. So
It's gonna be kind of like Michonne though, 'cause she's gonna be like a badass. So
Just different weapon.
yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say if she uses a sword, it's gonna blur the lines. She's she's fighting as zombies, and it's just gonna fuck it up.
Mike's going to start having flashbacks.
Yeah.
She's bald in this, so that should help.
Yeah, that should help. The dreads to bald, that's a big difference.
All right, so let's loop back around to Josh. Josh is number 6.
I try to always represent the thriller / horror community, and I mean, to some degree, Bradley already kind of beat me to it with Quiet Place, but October next year, we get Jamie Lee Curtis back in a Halloween movie.
Oh fuck! Are you kidding me? Just let it
And
die.
so here's what I have heard about how they're approaching this. Now, number one, Danny McBride is one of the co-writers,
Yeah.
and that almost might seem out of left field as well. But he's also one of those guys who's been involved, again, in like everything across the spectrum: science fiction, obviously comedy, drama.
He was fantastic in Alien Covenant, and you didn't see that coming.
Right, and I actually really I thought he was one of the best parts of that movie. And I think he's one of those people that just ends up surprising you. So the fact that he's getting handed the script for screenwriting for Halloween, like I'm curious at the very least about that. They're basically, from what I hear, they're basically ignoring every Halloween movie in continuity after number 2, which is a real shame in my opinion, only because I thought Halloween H2O was actually really good. Take away Resurrection, ignore the ones in between, but I thought H2O was amazing, and she's in it. She plays a central role. She's the main character again. But you're giving me Jamie Lee Curtis in an awesome, like, scream queen role again, where she's the badass. I'm absolutely there.
Isn't she like 80?
She is not, but however old she is, she would still be on my celebrity pass list. So take that for what you will.
It's from True Lies, isn't it?
All right,
Anything.
I'll
Just
give you
kinda
that.
stuck
Okay,
with
I'll
you.
give you that there.
No,
Really-
he's saying it's
really
because
anything.
of watching True Lies that's the reason she's there.
Well, also anything she was in the 80s.
I'm like blanking on what she was on in the 80s.
Halloween.
Trading Places.
Okay.
That's what was it called? That sitcom she was on with Richard Lewis. I really liked that. It's been off of syndication for a long time. I used to watch it when I was a kid.
So it started young with you.
I mean, I've just always been a general fan. I liked her as an actress, anyway, and put her back in the iconic role that she defined, she created.
Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see Laurie Strode coming back. I just don't know that it's necessary.
If this legitimately is, at least for like the next 25 years, if this is the last Halloween that's ever made, I'm fine with it. And they go balls to the wall, but that they make a great story and I don't think she'll phone it in at all. I think it
No,
yes,
no,
it,
no, no.
it could falter, easily could falter, but it could also be really freaking good.
It's also important that they got the series away from Rob Zombie.
This is true.
Yeah. So,
All right. Anything else for Halloween? Nothing. All right. So we'll go to Bradley's number 6.
I know this is a lot higher on at least yours and Josh's list, but my number 6 is Ready Player One.
Oh, yes, it is.
The reason I'm going to assume the reason it's only number 6 on my list is I still haven't read the book. You guys have hyped it up to me quite a bit, and
Okay.
the trailer that just came out, yeah, it looks fucking awesome. I am instantly on board with this full trailer and want everything to do with this movie. In a lighter field, this may have pushed ahead, even though I don't have as much information on it as you guys do.
Yeah, I'd be curious if you revamp your list after reading the book.
Well, do you think he should? I mean, it's close. Do you think he should? If this is the only impression he has so far, should he squeeze in reading the book first? Because unfortunately, it always happens. Always that people who are big fans of books are always disappointed by movies. Even if they like the
Right.
movies, they always say it falls short of what's in their head. So I'd say just go in cold, read the book afterward.
That's true. That might be the safer play.
Yeah.
That sounds fair.
And then see how it stacks up after the fact, and not let that soil your impressions of watching the movie.
Yeah, I did that with like the Da Vinci Code and stuff like that.
Mike Romano, you didn't read Ready Player One,
No.
have you?
Huh.
Okay. Just curious where everybody's baseline is on that movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's... I don't know. The trailer is just a quick hook for anybody that was into any kind of geek and nerd culture in the 90s, in the 80s, in the early 2000s. It's all there. Like, there's a hook there for just about anybody. I mean, the guy's going to be driving around a DeLorean throughout this movie. Like, chase scenes with a DeLorean.
Yeah, I think
mean,
I think I made it part of the Facebook post whenever I put it up. But even there's like the race that you see in the trailer. There's like a starting grid shot, and I had to like just pause it and see what I could find. There's the A-Team van in there. Speed Racers Mach 5 is there. The 60s Batmobile is there. The DeLorean, Bigfoot.
I am pretty sure that I saw Knight Rider as well.
Oh, okay, I missed that one.
I didn't post it on the Facebook page because I already made 2 posts about things I thought you missed. But
Yeah, I could see that being in there. That fits the nostalgic aesthetic they're going for.
Yeah. Brian, I didn't watch this new trailer. Does it seem to address actual plot information
They
much
give
more than
you
the first one?
they give you the overall story of what they're trying to do and
Oh, okay.
Going after the keys and what they inherit should
Yeah.
they win and
Gotcha.
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, in the idea of like, oh, there's this video game world that we built. There's a golden Easter egg to
Yep.
go and find. Go find it. That's just
Yeah.
That alone tells me I need to read this book at some point because it's just great idea and irony.
Yeah. You'll
like
very much enjoy it. I don't think any of us are going to be disappointed by this.
Yeah, I think anyone that's into nerd culture, just all the callbacks and references they put in that book and what they pull from to use. Which, granted, maybe that's sort of what Josh is getting at. There's no way in hell they're going to get all those references from the book in the movie.
Nah.
So if you have your heart set on the way something plays out in the book for that specific reference, and they do it differently or not included in the movie, I could see that getting someone very disappointed. So yeah, So I'm with Josh now. I think read the book after watching the movie
Okay,
and see how
fair
that
enough.
stacks up. I will say it did make my list. That's going to be higher on my list.
I presume so. You've sounded excited about this one for quite some time.
Yeah. So we'll see where that falls later. On to Romano's number 6.
Oh, we've waited 15 long years for this one. The greatest Fantastic Four movie ever made. The Incredibles 2.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's nothing to
Yeah,
say.
that
It's
is
just,
on my list too.
I mean, it's just it's The Incredibles. I mean, it really is the greatest Fantastic Four movie that they've made so far. So I mean, I love that first one. So
people have made that comparison for years. I honestly, sincerely think it's just one of the best superhero movies of any medium ever made. It was just so damn well done.
Yep. I just hope it doesn't
hopefully
fall flat.
they've waited this long to do the sequel because they want to get that sort of feeling back for another movie and not just cash grab it.
Yeah.
I mean, Brad Bird is in charge of it again, and I think if they wanted to jump on a sequel, they did not need to wait 14 years.
Yeah.
You know, the movie was popular like from the get-go, and the audience only built for it over years. I mean, he went off and did other projects in the interim and whatnot, and you know, they were working on, like, let's make sure we actually have a good story, not rush into something stupid.
Yeah.
This is not going to disappoint at all.
No.
Yeah, I do have high hopes for this one. So, yeah, spoiler, it's on my list a little bit higher. So, we'll get there. Anybody else want to talk about Incredibles, or we'll loop back around to Josh?
Well, we can, yet again, just slingshot around, because that is my number 5. I think it's going to be...
Oh, did we get your number 5, Brian? Or your number
that's
6?
right. Sorry. Yeah,
you
we did
skipped
skip
yourself.
Me. I know. I'm too busy trying to fill in everybody else's list. I'm not looking at my list. All right, sorry. So my number 6. My number 6 is another Disney animated movie, Wreck-It Ralph 2.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I have that on my calendar, but it didn't make my list. I thought it might be on yours. I didn't know how high, though.
Yeah, I mean, I love Wreck-It Ralph for what it is. Like, just all the... same way with, like, Ready Player One sticks on all those video game references and stuff like that. And it brought back such, like... Anybody that has played games in an arcade before and is brought up with some of that culture, like, that movie captures that so well.
It does.
And, yeah, I thought the characters were great. Like, Ralph itself, like, even just the cast, like, the voice cast they got for those characters, I think are fucking pitch perfect. And the next one's called, like, Ralph Breaks the Internet, so I definitely want to see Ralph break the internet and what the hell happens there. That just sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's an honorable mention. I've been looking forward to that since I've seen it, but it's just, once again, I feel like it's just such a flooded year this year with great movies to see at the theater that things like that get pushed around. But yeah, the first one was just a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I can't see the second one being anything different.
And I've heard, like, they screened some of this movie at D23 over the summer.
Already,
Two
wow.
things I feel... Yeah, I think... Well, it's sort of like a teaser trailer, I guess, for that. And there was, like, quick little clips of stuff. And I think the two things that came out of it is just, like, what Disney owns and they can put in that movie. So I think there's, like, some Star Wars characters and references that show up. Because when Ralph hits the internet, everything is available on the internet. It's not just video game characters.
Oh, yeah.
And there's apparently a scene with all kinds of Disney princesses that are reunited on screen together that is fucking stole the show for that clip. So I'm anxious to see what that is.
So the footage wasn't ever made available. It was just like write-ups about what people saw.
Yeah, anything they showed at D23 was not out there for public consumption. It's specific for the people at the event. And whatever reason, D23 locks that shit down. There's no leaks out of that convention. Now you go to Comic-Con a week later and everything was leaking out of there, but D23 is on lockdown.
That's another, I don't want to say reason to be worried, but if that Fox deal goes through, all that stuff ain't gonna be leaking out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see all that how that shit goes.
When is Ralph supposed to be out?
That is a good question. I didn't look at the release date. I think I obviously saw it in a month somewhere and didn't write down when it's supposed to release. Internet is telling me March 9th.
There you go.
So actually, now I'm really surprised there's no trailer for that already.
Holy crap.
Could be another one on Star Wars.
That is really soon, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's for a Disney property, not 3-4 months away, not in front of this one. Yeah, okay. Or no, maybe, I don't know, maybe I did see a trailer for that, and I don't remember if it was just a real quick teaser. No, I'm going to have to look for that shit later. I don't think, like, I definitely haven't seen a trailer for as far as, like, plot points or anything like that. If anything, it was just a really, really quick thing. So yeah, now I'm anxious to see some footage. I feel like we should be getting something for that soon. All right, so we covered my number 6. Went back to Josh for number 5. He said Incredibles 2.
Yep.
So we are on to Bradley's number 5.
Black Panther.
All right. Anything we want to add for that, even though we already covered it?
I've got nothing more than we've said.
Okay. That'll bring us back to Romano for number 5.
Black Panther.
Wow.
Well, that makes it easy. All right, so we're looping around to back to me already. My number 5, and I had to make a quick amend to my list because for some reason I missed this when I was originally looking at movies coming out next year, and just caught it when we were doing the show. Mission Impossible 6 for me is number 5.
Oh.
I want to see Henry Cavill's fucking
for me
mustache.
as well. Yes.
Yeah,
the
that's one of my
infamous
honorable mention list.
This is a franchise that, considering it's on number 6, and the last 2 I thought were fucking spectacular. Even the last 3, I really, really enjoy. I'm an apologist and really like Mission Impossible 3. I don't think it seems to be high on a lot of people's list, but I really like that one.
The only one I didn't like was 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I remember loving 2 when it came out, and now it's the one that I go back to and watch, and I'm like, no, this is fucking terrible.
Yeah. It's the only one I can't go back and watch. All the rest of them I thought were excellent.
Yeah, because even 1 is a very, very good spy thriller.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's less action-y as to what some of the ones are, and these crazy stunts and stuff like that. But, yeah, just everything about 5 I thought was awesome. Everything about Ghost Protocol I thought was awesome. So they do seem like they're upping the stakes, even still, into number 6. And it hasn't hit that Fast and Furious style of, like, over-the-topness yet.
Stupidity.
So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
so I'm still on board with this so far.
I agree. Yeah, for me it was like, I think I scratched out that and put Pacific Rim on my list.
Okay.
I think that was like the swap. It was like, which one's actually going to be on the list?
And I did the opposite. For me, I took Pacific Rim off my top 10 to put it on honorable mentions and put Mission Impossible 6 in.
Well, it should be a lot of fun.
And that's another one. I think that's July. So I'd like to see a trailer for that and see because I don't know. There's nothing as far as plot details what this is supposed to do.
I didn't even look. Is Jeremy Renner coming back again?
I don't think he's listed, but they're bringing Rebecca Ferguson back from Rogue Nation.
Okay.
So I want to see what they do because she was fantastic in Rogue Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Renner, I feel like, has maybe come to grips that he is not going to lead this franchise, so maybe they decided they don't need him anymore if Tom Cruise is not going to surrender it.
Yeah, if Tom Cruise isn't going away, there's no need for Jeremy Renner to be there to take over.
Like, he had more to do in Ghost Protocol, but he got shafted hard in Rogue Nation and didn't really have anything to do. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to put him in 6, I want him to have something substantial to do. If he's just going to be standing around like he was in 5, then it's all right if he's not there.
He's going to be Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
2 movies, and then he's going to have a big role, and then he's going to go away again.
Yeah. All right, so that's my number 5. So we're going back to Josh's number 4.
Coming in at number 4 is Ready Player One.
Alrighty.
Cannot wait for March 30th to get here.
Yeah, I honestly kind of forgot about that movie that was coming out that soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kept thinking it's like mid-summer somewhere. So the fact that it's only 3 or 4 months away, like that's exciting to me.
Yeah, I think we talked about it months ago when we were, I don't know, first trailer was out or something, but I think they found a nice sweet spot. Because this was the one, I think it was originally, this was one of those movies that moved.
Yeah, it was supposed to be December.
It was supposed to be right now, and when they moved to episode 8, they moved to March. But, again, like, the idea that, I think the idea of the summer blockbuster is now extinct, because summer blockbusters now happen all year round.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to look at what else is coming out in the next year and just find a sweet spot that nobody's occupied yet.
I mean, even some of these movies we just talked about, like Wreck-It Ralph is supposed to be in March, and that's the same month as Ready Player One, so March might even start turning into a heavier month.
Could be.
For movie releases.
Yeah. I mean, what was last year? Kong was, this year I should say. Kong was this year, Beauty and the Beast was this year in March. They're
Mm-hmm.
they're finding, like I said, they're just kind of finding niches that haven't been spoken for yet and taking them over.
And February's been coming up too. That's had a couple. Like between Deadpool and I think the first Kingsman was February.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about it before. If you make a good movie, it doesn't matter when it releases. People will see it. All right, so we'll go over to Bradley. You're number 4.
My number 4 is Solo.
Okay, it's pretty high. Do you have more confidence in that movie than I do?
Yeah, I guess so. I must. It's a Han Solo movie. I would rather be let down by it than go into it. Like this one, I went into Justice League with low hopes, and I came out feeling fairly good about it because I went in thinking it was going to be awful. I'd rather go into a Star Wars movie thinking it's going to be good. Like I trust them with the series. I trust them with the series at this point. They've done 2. Last Jedi looks amazing from what we've seen so far. We're going to find out tomorrow for sure. Don't get me wrong. If I come out tomorrow from seeing Last Jedi and it's absolutely awful, Solo drops on my list significantly.
You're going to send Brian an edit like, hey, before you post this episode, we need to make some revisions.
Right.
Well, the difference is there's been no behind-the-scenes drama for Episode 8, when there was all kinds of shit going on for Solo.
I understand that. I don't think the behind-the-scenes drama is going to put me off of thinking this could be good.
Okay.
The cast still looks good. It's still Star Wars. It's still a Han Solo story. I'm willing to give this guy a shot to entertain me as Han Solo and be happy about it.
Okay. Fair enough. I can't disagree with you. All right, so we'll go over to Romano, number 4.
Pacific Rim.
Okay, that's
Oh,
pretty
wow.
high for you.
I love that first movie. So, why not love this one? Well, because that was
Expectations.
well, that was another one that flew in under the radar. Never went and saw it in the theater. Never even heard of it until one day I was just we had probably a free weekend on HBO or something again, and I saw it on and I was like, oh, okay. I remember seeing something about this movie. I was like, I'll record it, and I ended up watching it. Oh, I love this movie, so I go buy the Blu-ray. So, it is what it is. I don't know. It's just because it's big giant robots, and that's the closest thing I can get to Voltron right now, and
I mean,
good
you're
Transformer stuff.
I was gonna say you're a pretty big Transformers fan, and we know those movies haven't really held up there.
No, so that's why I think I just need big mechanical things. That, and I've always been a fan of Gundam, so that's the closest thing I can get to that. So I think that's why it's really high on my list.
Nice. Okay.
Plus Finn's in it. Yeah, Finn's cool. I like Finn.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a good addition to that cast.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we'll go on to my number 4. My number 4, Deadpool 2.
Now I'm really curious about your top 3.
Higher on my list.
I mean, 2 of the top 3 I think should be obvious. Maybe the third, we'll see if anybody can guess it. But yeah, I've made no secret about my top 2. So it's just that it's nothing against Deadpool 2. I am really looking forward to it. It's just that, in my opinion, I'm looking forward to the other 3 more than Deadpool 2.
I mean, I can talk more about Deadpool 2. I can give you I'll give you an example of how well they're marketing this movie and fucking with people at the same time.
Bob Ross.
So-
That's all you gotta say. It's Bob Ross.
Oh, well, Bob Ross, but if from FoxMovies.com, the storyline synopsis they hand out to Movie Insider, to IMDb, to all that, I will read it to you now and show you how much they're fucking with people. So it says, after surviving a near-fatal bovine attack, a disfigured cafeteria chef, Wade Wilson, struggles to fulfill his dream of becoming Mayberry's hottest bartender, while also learning to cope with his lost sense of taste. Searching to regain his spice for life, as well as a flux capacitor, Wade must battle ninjas, the Yakuza, and a pack of sexually aggressive canines as he journeys around the world to discover the importance of family, friendship, and flavor, finding a new taste for adventure and earning the coveted coffee mug title of World's Best Lover. This is what they actually sent out to people from this movie.
I want all of that to be true.
If it's true, it's not as funny that they sent it out to people. There's no way that that's actually true, so it's going to be fucking hilarious that they just sent this shit out to people just to be like, here, have something funny.
Oh, that is awesome.
That, to me, is just fantastic, and all the more reason why this movie's even higher on my list than yours.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against the marketing. The marketing for this movie is fantastic, just like it was for the first one.
Mm-hmm. I feel like they're doing more with this one just because they can, because they have the budget for it, but
Yeah.
they opened up the purse strings after it destroyed its budget in the last one.
Yeah, a little. It feels like Deadpool. It's gonna sound stupid, but the Deadpool experiment, if you'll call it that, it's like it taught Hollywood. Guess what? You can have fun while you're being creative again.
Mm-hmm.
Except that's not the lessons that Hollywood took from that movie.
No, Hollywood took more Deadpool, more money. Charge.
I'm sure they did, but we said this from the get-go when they were starting to put out news about the sequel and it kept going and blah blah blah, that if the people in charge get out of the way, and if they're the ones that don't learn the wrong lessons, then it's going to be fine. And hopefully more people and more decision makers and more artists, follow suit. And the idea that not everything in the world, in the world of superhero make-believe especially, have fun with it. Why not? It's all made up bullcrap for fun, and it's amazing at the same time, and that's okay.
Yep.
Even still, like, while you're having fun, stick to the characters, like what the character is supposed to be.
That's where I was going to go with it, is they learn that we love Deadpool. We love this character from the comics. Put that character on the movie screen, and people will love it. Doesn't matter if it's rated R. Kids don't have to see it. You know how many people have been on this character for how long? And
You know how many people actually took their kids, even though it was rated R?
Well, very
how
true.
many regretted that?
But you know how many people went and saw it 2 and 3 times? You don't get an R-rated movie to 800 million worldwide
Oh, yeah.
without
I saw it 3 times in the theater. Twice in 24 hours when it first released. I saw it midnight release and later the next day.
Yeah, word of mouth definitely got around for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So this one has some high expectations, too, just from all the people that saw the first one that are probably really, really looking forward to the second one. And I guess we'll have to see what this Fox Marvel or Fox Disney deal means for Deadpool going forward. I'm sure it's not going to affect this one, but that'll be a discussion for another time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming back around to Josh, number 3.
Number 3 is Deadpool.
Oh, see, that's not too much higher than me.
No, I guess my comment when you announced yours was not critical. I was surprised because I can't really think, other than maybe one obvious strong one, I can't think what else is in your top 3.
Okay.
So
I know it's top 3.
Oh, it's Ready Player One and The Incredibles. And Avengers. It's easy.
There you go. Romano knows me.
Done.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, we just spoiled the ending.
It's Avengers.
All right, good night, everybody.
Ready Player One, Incredibles. That's 1, 2, 3.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, Mike nailed it.
It was easily in my top 3. There was never going to be, it was never not going to be top 3. Even Ready Player One wasn't going to break it. Yeah, I am sad that they moved it to a summer movie. I thought it worked, just talking about those February and March movies, I thought it worked 100% perfectly as a February movie, but we'll have to wait a couple of more months.
Yeah.
I think they should just stick to that Valentine's Day release for Deadpool from now on. I think that's the way to go.
Just give us one every Valentine's.
Yeah, right? I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right, Bradley, number 3.
My number 3 is Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yay.
Yeah. Josh summed that up pretty well. Yay. can't say enough about how good the first one was. It's Harry Potter. It's more wizards, more magic, more everything. We're getting Dumbledore at a young age in this movie. That's spoiler, Josh. If you didn't, I'm sure you've heard.
Yeah, I know that. I'm good.
So we're getting everything coming in this movie. I'm interested to see, because as far as I could tell, Ezra Miller was still cast.
Yep.
So what's going to become of Ezra Miller's character in this one, Credence? I don't know where they're going. And I actually love this because it's not Harry Potter, where I've read all of the books 3 ahead of the movies.
Exactly.
And I know everything that's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen with these, and I love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And they didn't disappoint the first time, so I don't think they're going to disappoint this time either.
Yeah. The only thing that makes me sad is, like, at least for the first 3, they pretty much set the release dates all in November. So it's going to be all the way in, like, the last part of the year. Like, it's 11 months away still. Well, actually, is it full? Am I counting wrong? No, it's 11 months. So it's too far away from me. That's
I say
the
that
point.
every year about Star Wars, and yet we still get there. So you'll get there.
Yeah,
I
I was
know.
going to say, like, I right now, Star Wars tomorrow night is too far away from me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not watching it now. It's too far.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Johnny Depp in action as Grindelwald, because, while we saw Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, we didn't get to see him actually really doing anything other than, 2 lines that he had in that.
Right.
So that's going to be entertaining. Getting to see how Jude Law handles it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see how that goes. I think he can pull it off, but I really don't know. I feel like it's an interesting choice, and one that I'm looking forward to seeing play out. Because I didn't have a lot of faith in Colin in the first one.
Oh, and I initially but then I thought he crushed it.
Yes,
I thought he was
what
really good.
He was fantastic. I didn't see him pulling off a role like that anymore.
True.
So, yeah, that's definitely easily number 3. It was actually fighting with number 2, but number 2 is still number 2.
Who's number 2?
Mm-hmm.
I assume this movie hits everybody else's list. It did not make mine.
Nope.
It was right on the cusp of me for 10. But I ended up pushing some stuff out from the last couple trailers that I looked at. And same with this. If we probably would have had a trailer for this, it could have got me more excited. I work better with stuff I can look at and compare to.
True.
Trailers always help.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. The fact that it's so far away, not having a trailer out at this point is not that surprising, but
Yeah.
to its detriment on the list episode.
Yeah. All right, coming around to Romano. Assuming he's still there.
I'm here.
I can't see him.
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
sitting on the floor with the dog.
I saw a hand come up at one point, and then
Ready Player One.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Well, because you know
That
why
high
I
up.
wasn't sold on it on the first trailer, but then I watched like the newest trailer and like it actually explained to me like what's going on, because I'd never read the book either. And then once I
Yeah.
saw that and I just saw all the ooh shiny nostalgia, I was like sold.
Yeah, to me that speaks to what that second trailer did, because I feel like a lot of people saw that first trailer that didn't read the book and didn't know what the fuck the movie
Yeah,
was.
that and the fact that I like to play video games too, so I mean that
Yeah.
doesn't hurt either.
So this second trailer, I think, is doing exactly its job. For people that haven't read the book and don't know what this is, like to Mike's point, it looks good enough to him that now it's in his top 3, knowing nothing about it.
Yeah, because it bumped a lot of things. I mean, well, it bumped everything basically one.
Yeah.
So
All right. So yeah, I'm on. I agree with that. I can't
yeah,
argue.
'Cause,
with
I mean,
that.
originally Pacific Rim was number 3, so
Wow.
yeah.
Nice. Okay.
This has high expectations for a lot of people.
No, I just want to be entertained. I don't care. Just give me
Yeah.
ooh shiny. Give me robots fighting big fucking other aliens or whatever, and I'm sold. You could
You get a big
I'm
robot
at
in this
both of them.
movie too.
you can make every
Iron Giant's going to be in this one.
who what? Oh, the
Iron
Iron
Giant's
Giant's
gonna
in
be
it, yeah.
in-
So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gundam. Gundam was
I
in the
did see
trailer
that.
too.
You're right. Oh fuck, man. That's I might have to move up to number 2 now. No,
You're
Do we
just
need to
talking
do a
about you wanted a
last
Gundam
minute
movie?
revision?
no, it's not moving up to number 2. It can't be number 2.
If it gets to 197 references, he's going to move it up one slot. If it gets to 278, he's going to move it up to number 1.
Yeah.
Sad part is I'm sure there's enough in there.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee.
It's going to be one of those movies when you own it on Blu-ray, you're just pausing all the frames to see what you can find, because I'm sure they're all buried in there.
Mhm.
Oh, sure, you're going to see shit in the background, too, that's not even talked about.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's non-action, just a random poster in the background somewhere that they walk by and it's on screen for half a second, but it's
Yeah.
a good reference.
Which is exactly the point, because they are all Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Yeah, that's going to be, that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to see it like 10 times just to see what I can find each time. All right, so we'll go on to my number 3. Romano spoiled all that stuff. Incredibles 2 is my number 3. And it inched out Deadpool only because, like I think Mike said earlier, it's been 15 years since we've had The Incredibles 1. This is a movie I've anticipated for that since then. I've
Yeah.
wanted it since then. So Deadpool I got a recent taste of the last couple years, which was awesome. But
Touche.
Incredibles 2 for me, I've just been waiting so long for that movie, so that cracked the top 3.
Okay.
Looping around to Josh. Josh, number 2.
So
I want to see what this is, because I
Yeah.
know what your top 2
I
are.
was interested.
I
I
figured.
don't know where they fall.
All right, so I have to write a strongly worded letter to Marvel to stop putting out like cornerstone, game-changing, amazing-looking movies in the same year that my damn Harry Potter movies are coming out, because this happened for 2016 also, where Civil War inched out the first Fantastic Beasts movie by 1 slot for 1 and 2, and god damn it did it again. So my number 2 is Crimes of Grindelwald as well. Yeah, again, I have a Harry Potter tattoo. I proposed to my wife at the Wizarding World. We had Harry Potter themed elements in our wedding. We went to London for our honeymoon. And this movie still didn't make number 1. So my number one really better frickin' deliver, but I am thoroughly back in the world of it all, and Mike said it best, that finally, like, going into the first Fantastic Beasts movie, you know, we said it before that, look, it's all new material, we all get to go in blind again and experience it all. It was fun, and now I'm actually starting to relive that, where, now we get a sequel. Now we have some new foundation, and now we're going to build on that, and we still don't know anything.
Yeah.
That is fun. That is really cool. So, yeah, like I said, I am lamenting how far away November is.
Yeah, I wonder if we would have got a trailer for Fantastic Beasts, if that would have bumped it up to number 1 for you.
Potentially, but
That's
for
tough.
other reasons, maybe still not.
Okay.
But, Bradley, what's your number 2?
Deadpool 2.
That doesn't surprise me either. I have a feeling. And see, now I'm curious about Romana too, because I don't know if Romana's going to put that at 2 or 1.
No, come on.
I know how much
that's-
you were
that's
into
a
the
legit
Skull Poop
question.
L.
Dude, Skull Poop L's still holding a nice, good, strong number 2. Don't you worry. Get it, number 2?
Actually, I didn't at first, so I'm glad you explained it for me.
Nice, strong number 2.
All right, coming around to my number 2. Obviously, like Mike said earlier, Ready Player One is my number 2.
Do we all have the same number 1?
Absolutely, we
As
do.
as it's going to fall, yeah. It looks like the only one left
I'm
that we
not-
haven't
I'm not
talked
sure.
about.
I'm not sure.
Just to confirm, Josh, you're number 1.
Avengers Infinity War.
Bradley, number 1.
Jurassic Park: Fallen Kingdom.
You fucking
Son
kidding
of a
me?
bitch, you screwed it all up.
Free State of,
course
Jones
it's Infinity
2.
War.
Yeah, you were just fucking with us, right? It is
Yes,
Infinity
yes,
War.
of course. No, I was leaving Infinity War completely off. That was yes, of course.
Honorable mention. That's where it's at for you. Romano and number 1.
It was Free State of Jones again. I wanted to watch it again.
Okay.
Of course, it's
Putting a movie
Avengers.
from last
He wants
year
to see
on this
he
year.
wants to see the 2018 version just in case it's
No,
better.
you know
Yeah,
what?
They're
I'm
remaking it this year.
I'm redoing it. I'm gonna go with Super Troopers 2. Okay.
Mm.
No, it's
That nearly made my
it's
list.
Yeah,
in my
that
honorable
was-
mention. So no, it's Avengers.
Yeah, Josh, to answer your question, yes, we all agree. Number 1 for
Yeah.
everyone is Infinity War.
I mean,
I mean, the combination of 10 years of the
Yes.
MCU.
that's
like, it's hard not to-
It's too much anticipation.
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's going to be chapter like 18 or 19 by that point. So
Yeah.
I mean, like that's the only way it could have edged out. If it was just another Marvel, even a bigger one, Fantastic Beasts for me definitely would have hit number 1. But how can you ignore something this long in the making? And again, I'm on that like total blackout, so I still haven't watched that teaser trailer or whatever it was put out.
Kudos to you.
Nope,
it-
I've watched
it's-
it about 20 times.
Same here.
I love everyone else is like, screw that, I'm not even trying that stuff.
Here's an interesting note for all the listeners and all of us. Starting the first week of
Hey, I
January,
saw this.
if you watch one Marvel movie in order per week, you will end up having watched every single one of them once per week and finish the day that Infinity War comes out.
I think we talked about that recently
Yeah,
Yeah.
on one of the episodes.
I
That's what I
shared
gotta
it-
do. I gotta put up the
shared it on
preferred
podcast
Bry Guy
page.
Super Friends viewing order. I still gotta do
Yes.
Yes. Accompany it with this episode.
that. Yeah, we'll do it shortly after.
To talk, I don't want to give spoilers about the trailer to Josh, so I'm going to try and keep limited on
There's that guy
anything
with
like
that thing that did the other thing.
There's the guy
I appreciate
that
the effort, Mike.
walks around and there's like an energy blast and then it's just chaos and no
Thanos is in it, by the way.
yes,
I kinda
Thanos
figured
is
that.
there. The one note I made on my list is there's only one movie in my lifetime I can remember knowing was coming and anticipating it for longer. Like a movie that you are 100% sure is going to come eventually, and then you're going to anticipate it for longer. And that movie's on my list. That's number 10. That's the only reason that the Meg movie made my list is because I've been anticipating that since like 1998. And this is the only movie I've been looking forward to longer than any other. Like like Infinity War, since they announced this MCU thing, it's been 10 years building up to this point.
Yeah.
It better be fucking good. If they botch this one, if they finally just completely screw a movie up and it's this one, that would just be bad. Hence, I don't see that happening. I don't see them taking
No way.
the
Not possible
nosedive
on this
here.
one.
No.
Well, I feel like I had very high expectation for Age of Ultron. And Age of Ultron, looking back, I think let me down. So I'm hoping this is not that.
See, I still love Age of Ultron.
There are parts to love. I think overall, I think there was a lot of studio meddling, I think, that took away from it.
Perhaps I still would rather watch it than the first Avengers.
Ooh,
No.
I would disagree with you on that
Yeah.
one.
I know
Same.
a lot of people disagree with me, but I just in general I like Ultron as a villain more than I like Loki. You want proof of that? I have a nearly 3-foot statue of Ultron sitting 6 feet from me. So, that's not a coincidence. But it's also that James Spader as Ultron was just incredible. And Josh Brolin, we know he's going to kill it. It is Thanos. We've seen him killing it already in just a few lines.
Yeah.
I mean, when he puts Ronan in his place, you can see that he's just like, bitch, get off me. Which is exactly how Thanos should treat somebody like Ronan. I think, I don't know, I'm just extremely excited. It's 5 months is way too long.
Yeah. Well, just like anything else, like the anticipation to all these movies is hard to do, but eventually we're gonna get there, and then it'll be here before we know. Especially all these movies that are coming out earlier in the year. That'll be enough to hold us. We got Black Panther, hopefully, to hold us over between now and then.
Oh yeah, and
There's plenty in between.
I imagine Last Jedi will satiate you for quite a while because it'll be in
Up until Black Panther.
Yeah, it'll be in theaters
Yeah,
for a
I was
long
gonna say,
while, so you can go back like once a week and keep seeing it until February.
The first month I'll be there probably once a week at least. After that, maybe every other week.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got to not overdo it the first couple of days like I did with Rogue One, because I want to say with Rogue One and Force Awakens, I think both of them, I watched them 5 times in the first 4 days.
Jesus Christ.
I might be wrong. It might have been 4 times in the first 3 days for one of them, but I know Force Awakens it was 5 times. It just, and then I didn't want to go back, later.
Yeah.
So
to help you digest it better if you go a little bit in between.
Space it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have our official top 10s. I'll just go through them quickly, and then we'll come around back to Josh for honorable mentions. Josh's 10: The Predator, Annihilation, Maze Runner: The Death Cure, Ocean's 8, Halloween, Incredibles 2, Ready Player One, Deadpool 2, Fantastic Beasts. Is it The Crimes of Grindelwald? Is that the right title?
Correct.
And 1 Avengers: Infinity War. For Bradley, we have The Meg, A Quiet Place, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Pacific Rim Uprising, Ready Player One, Black Panther, Solo, Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald, Deadpool 2, and Avengers: Infinity War. Romano, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, Spider-Man: Edge of Spider-Verse, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Equalizer 2, Incredibles 2, Black Panther, Pacific Rim Uprising, Ready Player One, Deadpool 2, and Avengers: Infinity War. And for me, we have Annihilation, Alita, Battle Angel, Solo, A Star Wars Story, Black Panther, Wreck-It Ralph 2, Mission Impossible 6, Deadpool 2, Incredibles 2, Ready Player One, and Avengers: Infinity War yet again.
Is this the first unanimous number 1, by the way?
I think so.
Pretty sure.
I think so. Because I think there's a lot of years where we've had a lot of like 1 and 2 is the same movies, just the orders have been changed. So yeah, this could be the anticipation for Infinity War better live up to the hype, because we are all betting hard on this movie. All right, so we'll loop around to Josh. We'll try to get through some honorable mentions, and then we'll close it down. So Josh, what honorable mentions would you like to bring up?
This is actually going to kick off my year, like right after New Year's, Insidious: The Last Key. I love that franchise. Proud Mary looks interesting to me. Wrinkle in Time looks freaking gorgeous. I think Tomb Raider could be interesting. It might fall flat, but I think it could be cool.
Yeah.
New Mutants. Definitely curious about that. Super Troopers is on my calendar, and that's not a joke. I'm actually looking forward to that. What else hasn't been discussed?
That's another movie that like just has taken so long to get made.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then for me, I think the last one would be the girl with the dragon tattoo franchise is trying to get restarted, and it's gonna get kicked off in October with the girl in the spider's web. It was the first book. No, I'm sorry, it was second. The first book that was written after the original author died. So it was the first one written by someone else carrying on those stories, and I really dug them, so I'm hoping that turns out well.
Alrighty. I don't know if I have anything really to add. Tomb Raider, I think, would have made my honorable mentions too. Wrinkle in Time, I don't know enough about, but it looks interesting enough that I do want to check it out. And Super Troopers 2, yeah, like we said, I think that's another like cult classic, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of flew underneath the radar for people, but when you see it, you're like, this is fucking hilarious. And yeah, it's taken a while to get that sequel off the ground, so anxious to see what that one turns out to be. Bradley, what are some of your honorable mentions?
The only honorable mentions I have that were not talked about on anybody's list is the New Mutants and Rampage. Rampage is one that I had no interest in when they first announced that. I thought it was a joke, and having seen the trailer, that looks like it could be a damn fun monster movie as well. And I like monster movies. I like the kaiju. I like Kong, Godzilla, all that stuff. I enjoy it. So that actually does look like it's going to be fun. At first, I thought it was going to be just god-awful when I heard the theory of making that game into a movie. But
Now,
since it looks great,
which creature in Rampage do you think is going to have the upper hand? The giant lizard or the giant monkey?
I think the crocodile is going to come in and fuck shit up afterwards, but I think the wolf is going to be the bad guy. Like, obviously, I think, the ape is going to be the good guy in all of this, from the way the trailer looks, and that the wolf and the crocodile will be the bad guys that are out there to get.
And then the Rock kills them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have to put down the monkey at the end, or the ape, gorilla, whatever the hell he is. So I think it'll be fun. In New Mutants, watching a superhero movie go down a horror movie thread, that just looks interesting, and I'm hoping they do it right.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's all you and Josh. I'll let you guys see that and let me know.
I think it's still PG-13, so
I don't know about that.
You'll be fine.
Now I'm going to have to actually look and find out, because that I'm not sure of. I
Even
never
still, I don't
paid
know if
any attention to
even
it.
just the tone to me just doesn't speak to me. So even if it is PG-13, I still don't know if I'd go see it.
Alright, fair enough.
Hold on.
Romano, what are some of your honorable mentions?
I had Rampage also, just because it's The Rock.
Yeah, can't go
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Did Bradley Romano, did you guys, either of you see San Andreas and like
I
San
fucking
Andreas?
love that movie. I mean,
Same director.
Alexander
saw
Daddario is in it, so that makes me happy.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, sadly she's not in
I
Rampage.
know, it's a shame. But it's okay, I like The Rock, so The Rock's pretty cool. He's a cool dude. I had
I think
super
it's the same director as San
If you
Andreas.
cast The
so-
Rock,
Yeah.
casting The Rock, you have a hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're gonna make money if you cast The Rock. There's a reason.
Yeah, my other ones were Super Troopers and MI6.
Okay. I think most of mine we talked about. Spider-Verse, I think, was an honorable mention for me. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Pacific Rim, Fantastic Beast. The one that I still don't really know anything about, other than like a quick synopsis and the cast, and I really want to see a trailer to see if this seems as funny as I think it's going to be. There's a movie called Tag. It's about a small group of former classmates organize an elaborate annual game of tag that requires some to travel all over the country, which includes John Hamm, Jeremy Renner, Isla Fisher, Leslie Bibb, Rashida Jones, Ed Helms, Jake Johnson, Brian Dennehy, Hannibal Buress. Like, the cast alone,
Yeah.
Fucking
I
Brian
think would be
Dennehy.
hilarious.
It's gonna
for
turn
this.
into like some like murder like thing, probably.
Yeah, I guess it could go any way. Like, it's still billed as a comedy.
Yeah. Could be
So I'm
like
hoping
a
it
dark
just
comedy
sticks
at
as-
certain points.
That it's literally like people just running around the country trying to slap somebody and say, tag, you're it, and then they run away. Like, to me, that sounds hilarious. So I'm anxious to see what that trailer looks like. That's in the summer, so end of June, I guess, is that one. But yeah, that's all I got.
4 months out from when we're gonna see New Mutants hit theaters, it is currently not rated.
Yeah, I think sticking with the tone that Fox established with Logan and Deadpool, I'm pretty sure they're pulling for a rated R movie for this one. So I expect it rated R. I'd be surprised if it's PG-13, but we'll see where it goes. So yeah, I think that's where we're done with this one. We wrapped up our most anticipated. We'll check back in a year's time and see how this list stacks up to where our favorites hit and see where we go from here.
Sounds good.
As we've talked about, we'll probably, most of us or all of us, go checking out Last Jedi tomorrow or this weekend. So the next show we do will probably be a Last Jedi review. We'll try to have that out hopefully before Christmas, and then maybe take the week off after that. And unless this Fox deal happens, that might be something we talk about in between Christmas and New Year's. We'll see how that goes. But that's all I got planned. If you enjoy the show, please stop by iTunes. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review. Be sure to share, subscribe, favorite our show. As always, you can find us on Facebook. Search Bry Guy and Super Friends, or go to facebook.com/Bry Guy Super Friends. Send us questions, comments, topic suggestions, any of that goodness. You can also do so at bryguysuperfriends@gmail.com or bgsuperfriends, or at bgsuperfriends on Twitter. All of those will work. So on behalf of Josh, Mike, and myself, thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.